The Golden State Warriors pulled off a massive trade today, and it's going to be official in a couple of days. But that being said, Schroder is going to the Golden State Warriors. This happened while Trevor and I were live. So we're going to go ahead and talk about this much more in detail in a moment. But I want to give you guys the particulars of the deal, which we didn't have at the time when we first saw the initial breaking news report. Post down below what you guys think. Make sure you subscribe. About 80% of viewers aren't already, so make sure that you do subscribe. They are trading for DeAnthony Melton and 3 second-round picks. There was also a post from Evan Sidery here after holding trade talks with that included Cam Johnson and alongside Dennis Schroder. They were going big game hunting. The Warriors were unwilling to relinquish Jonathan Kuminga to make it happen. Golden State then pivoted solely to the guard. So basically, there could have been a bigger version of this deal where Cam Johnson comes to the Warriors and Kuminga is on his way out. I think that may or may not be the right decision. That basically means I'm in the middle. I feel kind of just whatever. But maybe they have bigger plans. This does not take them off of the trade market for somebody like Jimmy Butler if they wanted to pull that off and more. So we're going to talk all about that right now after this quick word from today's video sponsors.
PrizePicks is the #1 independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America, but most importantly, it is a ton of fun and super easy to play. All you have to do is make 2 to 6 selections, picking more or less on some of your favorite players around the NBA. If you know ball, you can turn it into cash, and not just basketball, football, soccer, baseball, all kinds of sports you can find on PrizePicks. It's a great way to test your skills. You can turn $10 into $1,000 with just a few taps, and they offer weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, my favorite. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value. Personally, I love finding players that are on heaters and selecting less for them, assuming that they will regress to the mean. And on the flip side, I find players that are on cold streaks and assume once again that regression will hit and they will return to those normal numbers. So I smash the more button on those ones. We always appreciate it when you support the companies that help support us. So you head over to prizepicks.com. You can use the link in the description down below and then use the code Bulletin and you'll get a guaranteed $50 when you play $5. That's right, a guaranteed $50 when you play $5 for using our code Bulletin and the link in the description down below. Head over to prizepicks.com. Daily fantasy sports made easy.
Oh, wait. Hold on. We have some Shams news here. Hold on.
Oh, what we get?
Breaking news. Let's go ahead and put this on the screen here. Shams. Golden State is in a serious pursuit of Brooklyn's Dennis Schroder, sources tell ESPN. Schroder has been one of the top lead guards, pushing the Nets to a surprise start, contending for a playoff berth. Sides are in deep conversations with Schroder eligible on Sunday.
That means it's happening.
Ooh.
That means it's happening.
Yeah, this is going to happen.
So let's figure out what that is then. All right, let's do some math on the fly here, Donnie.
Okay, I'll let you do that because I suck at it.
Brooklyn is going to be trading away Dennis Schroder. He's going to go to the Warriors, $13 million. Remember, the Warriors are hard capped at the first apron, so they can't take on additional salary. So when we look at who would be leaving the Golden State Warriors, would have to imagine it's going to be that DeAnthony Melton contract, because that's why they'd even be in the market for Dennis Schroder, because DeAnthony Melton is out with that unfortunate torn ACL. But that may still not even be enough salary. Actually, that does work. That does work. That is just enough for the Warriors to stay under that first-tier hard cap. A DeAnthony Melton for Dennis Schroder deal does work math-wise. Then the question becomes, though, what is Brooklyn getting? The rumor is they want a first-round pick for Dennis Schroder. And if they're doing the deal this early, I would have to imagine they're getting it. The question is how many protections are on it. And I actually think that if you're looking at the trade market from a buyer's perspective, what you want to see here is Dennis Schroder go for second-round picks, if you're looking at it from a buyer's perspective. So you can say, look, there's precedent here that these guys where teams are demanding a first, they're not really going for first. When we're talking about like Nikola Vucevic, players like that. But if Golden State is indeed giving up a first, maybe it's a protected first. Let's see what they've got. They have their own pick this year they could give up. They could put protections on that. Yeah, they have all their own picks. They also have an extra second rounder coming in, a couple extra seconds coming from Atlanta. But they have all their own picks in the coming years here. So I would imagine, my guess would be that they did get it, that it's maybe a heavily protected first-round pick here for Dennis Schroder. And we'll see what all the details are when it officially comes through tomorrow. But that's a good get for Golden State. That's a good get for them.
Yeah,
Replaces Anthony Melton. He's been playing great, and that's a good acquisition for them if they can turn Melton into Schroder.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I like that. I like that a lot for them. So Schroeder is putting up, I mean, these look like their career numbers. They've got to be pretty close. 18 and a half points, 3 rebounds, 6.5 assists, while shooting 45% from the field and basically 39% from 3 on 6.5 attempts. He's been super good. These are basically the best numbers he's put up since his OKC and Atlanta days. So it's been a while. But Schroeder is I think that, do you think this is the time Schroeder finally gets like a bigger contract, more commitment going forward in the NBA? Because I think he's been kind of trying to angle for that.
It's going to depend on what he does from here with Golden State. Because I don't think the Nets, if they're trading him right now, is because they don't believe that he's going to keep doing this forever. Same thing with Vucevic, right? Putting up career numbers. So I think that's ultimately what's going to happen here. It's going to be the Nets trying to cash in here on Schroeder. If he continues to play well with the Warriors, then he'll probably get some decent money. Is he getting 4 years, $84 million, like he infamously maybe turned down? Probably not. But could he get another deal similar to what he's getting, or maybe even a little bit bigger? Sure, he could. If he continues to produce, if the Warriors make a deep playoff run, he's a big part of that. Sure, definitely could.
Yeah, definitely. So do you think Golden State has anything else they're going to try to flip, or do you think that, I mean, they still have other things they could potentially do, like Wiggins, for example, is on a nice contract.
Yeah.
The Melton one was like they kind of just had to do something with that, right? So
yeah, they definitely need to replace him. I don't think they're done because they still have to make a decision on Jonathan Kuminga. What is he? Is he their guy for the future, or do they need to turn him into something else? And that's where maybe they get into the mix. Maybe they call Brooklyn back and they talk about Cam Johnson or something like that. I don't think they've made that decision yet. So I think Schroeder is right now, they need to replace Anthony Melton. Boom, here you go. You don't go from chasing Lauri Markkanen and Paul George over the summer to suddenly just shutting that off and being like, nah, never mind. We're not going to chase stars. I think they're still going to chase some big names. Whether or not they actually pull something off, we'll see. But obviously they're active and they're aggressive if they're getting this done right at the opening bell here of the NBA trade season.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a real chance that the Warriors still make another big trade and have a pretty different looking roster pretty soon here. So since this one is happening so early, it's interesting, I think, that it's happening like right here at the gate, December 15th, we're starting to see some trades. Do you think that's going to be the trend for this season, where we're going to get most of our stuff kind of trickling out around this time, early next month, as opposed to just at the deadline, literally?
I hope so, because this is pretty abnormal. I had people tagging me on Twitter or on X yesterday when the Thomas Bryant thing came out, and saying, "What, I thought you said there's no trades this time of year." It's not normal for trades to happen this time. It's not impossible. Trades can happen right now. They can happen obviously December 15th. You get all the guys who sign contracts, most of them anyway, become trade eligible. So it definitely can happen. It's just not the norm. Usually we see trades kind of trickle in mid-January, and then we get a lot of activity that first week of February. I think, though, you've got two things. You've got a number of teams that have not only a desire to tank, but they've got players to tank for. When we look at the guys that are coming up in this draft class, and you also have a hyper-competitive Western Conference where every team's trying to get an edge. So I think you've got motivation on both the buyers and sellers side. And so this was my hope coming in, and my hypothesis was that we would get maybe some more activity this year because of those two things happening at the same time. You've got motivation on both sides. And it seems like that's what we're getting right now with the Thomas Bryant move already, now Dennis Schroder move. Now, who knows? It could be this happens and then that's it. And we hear nothing else till the end of January. Or maybe we could also have, like, if you're Houston, if you are Memphis, if you're any of the teams in the West and you see Golden State do this, maybe this lights a fire under you and you say, uh-oh, they did that. We better go do something now. This could spark kind of an arms race here in the Western Conference. Now, not the same way that like a superstar acquisition would, but maybe this does get things going. Maybe this is just the first shot here in what's going to be a big back and forth battle between a bunch of teams in the West trying to add pieces. That would be really fun and really exciting. I hope we get that kind of a trade season here in the NBA.
Yeah, that could be pretty cool. We're going to answer a couple more and then get out of here. But yeah, it's pretty awesome that we got a breaking news moment on our third ever live stream. That was really cool. And it wasn't just like, I mean, we don't know the official it's done, but it's like literally this is about to happen. So that's pretty cool too.
Shams, usually you look for that verbiage, right? When Shams says they're in deep conversations, it's not done, but you know it's all but done, right? If Shams is putting it out there, they can't call it into the league or anything until tomorrow. But when sides are in deep, it happens, but it's rare for sides to get into deep conversations and have a deal just not go down.